W. Crump, and I'm the mother of Shaniece Harris, and I also have 3 other daughters. I'll start off by telling you a little bit about Shaniece. Shaniece had a very tough exterior, but yet on the inside was warm, loving, caring, compassionate. She loved her family. She loved, her sisters used to call her their keeper because she wouldn't leave them alone if they were dating somebody and she didn't feel like they were up to par. You know, she would have an issue with them. She would nag them, always wanting to know where they were, what they were up to, if they were okay. The same with myself. Her and I both suffered of motion sickness, so if I ever came to Florida, because I have a daughter that lives in Florida, if I ever went to Florida, she would always text me or call me right immediately when the plane landed to make sure I was okay. And when she went missing, that's where we were. We were in Florida. The last time I saw Shaniece was May 21st. It was the day that I was on my way to Florida. We had a very early morning flight, so she told me to wake her up before I left. And she was sleeping, so I figured I'll talk to her, I'll give her a hug and kiss, you know, when I get back. That was the worst mistake I ever made, because when I got back, she wasn't there. While I was on my trip, we spoke several times, because she lived with me at the time. She had a girlfriend that lived with her as well. That was her relationship, her partner. I'm froze.
So Shaniece, I'll go back a little bit. In 1995, as Elvie and I met, Kay had a house, his warming, New Year's Eve party. It was an unlikely couple for me. She has is 4 daughters. Kay and I have is 1 daughter and 2 boys. Nobody thought that size of a family coming together would have Kay's ever last. 25 years later, we are still here. Our family is very tight. We argue, we fight, we love each other, but we back each other no matter what. You might be mad at your sister or your brother, and that's fine, that's normal, but if somebody comes in case to harm them, everybody's coming. And Shaniece was leading that charge. Okay, we had gone to Florida, and on the way there, my wife looks at me and she says, "Babe, I have a bad feeling. I don't understand why, but I think something's going to happen to Niecy." Now, of course, me is I'm like, "Babe, just relax. It's probably just a feeling. Niecy's good." As my daughter is about my height, I'm a little shorter, about 260 pounds. She is a daughter of a law enforcement. I'm in a sheriff for Orange County, in New York, corrections, the division. She loved sports. She loved music, but she was a bouncer. So of course, as her father, I taught her how to protect herself at all times. So we went to Florida, and her and my wife talked every single day, 2 and 3 times a day, because that was just the relationship that they had. So we're in Florida, is there talking, but on the night of May 29th, she went to meet one of her friends that she met at a new job that she had, And she was loving and caring. She loved old people. She loved to take and help them. She gave from the heart.
And her girlfriend at the time FaceTimed her, and they had a FaceTime call, and that was the last time Shaniece was seen or heard from. The girlfriend reported to us that she looked not like herself, slightly inebriated, like if she was under the influence of something, so I'm not quite sure what that was about. One of the issues that came up is I was in Florida. Of course, my children they all lived in separate homes at the time of their own because they're adults. And her girlfriend, who lived at my house, did not inform any of us that she didn't come home until the morning after. So she had called my oldest daughter and told my oldest daughter Shaniece never came home last night. My oldest daughter was like, what are you talking about? Shaniece didn't like to stay at anybody's house. She didn't even like to sleep at her sister's house. She liked to be in her own home, in her own bed. So her not coming home, huge red flag. My daughter, my oldest daughter at that time, that morning, asked my husband, what do I do? He said, go report her missing, because we already know this is completely out of her character. She should be home. We're calling her phone, nobody's answering. We're checking all social media, no posting, nothing. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, goes to report her missing, and she went to the police department. The police department said, you have to wait 24 hours. She's not considered a missing person now. She's like, what do you mean? They said, no, how old is she? She said she's 31. And she's like, no, you have to wait. You have to wait at least 24 hours. 24 hours, come back tonight. So my daughter spoke to my husband, and he said, well, I guess because we didn't have the knowledge that you don't have to wait, that he said, go back at around the time that she left the house and report her missing. My daughter did that and went to the sheriff's department at this point. And they told her, why did you wait so long to report her missing? So now, because of that, my oldest daughter feels like she dropped the ball on this. Like, I should have did better. I should have pushed harder. And she goes through beating herself up almost every day since that day, because she feels like she was part of the reason why she hasn't been found. They pulled the girlfriend in eventually, questioning her. The girlfriend lied because she didn't want her. She was worried about her own self-preservation. Well, what if they come arrest me because I smoke? You know, I smoked with her. And I said, doesn't matter. I, at that time, didn't even know there was weight involved. I'm just thinking she went to buy a bag of weed. My daughter, my oldest daughter, did know there was weight involved. So she pulled the detective outside and told the detective, I didn't know what to say to me. People didn't know how to talk to me. People avoided me. But the one good thing is God sent other people who were gonna be there to help lift me up and let me know that I can do this. There's days that I feel like I can't and I don't want to anymore. But I have to. Because my daughter needs me to, because she can't speak for herself anymore. I have to speak for her. And our life mission is to bring awareness to people that go missing, to bring justice for those that go missing.
To gather all the resources that we can and bring them to other case families that are going through this. When we started not wanting to this journey, there was nothing. Nobody knew
Up by us.
Up by us, because we're from
that we know
upstate is New York.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. There is no, it's communication or resources. You know what I'm saying? We were is fumbling through. But like you said, we came to a Q meeting. We got some is info, and now our daughter's purpose, her life is going to matter. No matter what the outcome is, we are going to make sure that her life is out there for other people to see that are having this happen. We're going to take and make sure that her name and Q and everybody else that we are working with has a voice, because there are too many people out here, too many families out here that have missing children that don't have the resources that they need to walk this godforsaken nightmare.
Like I said, our mission is to finding her, seeking justice for her, and also bringing awareness. That's my goal in life. I never thought it would be, because you never think something like this would ever happen to you, but it's my goal now. I was ignorant to missing people until it happened to me. And that's the biggest thing, the biggest mistake that people walk around with, thinking that things can never happen to them. And it happens all the time, every day. And I'm just grateful to everybody for coming, for supporting us, for having a place like this. It saved me on many days. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. I'm sorry if I was all over the place. First time I ever really actually stood up and did her story like this.